Welcome to WagerTalk Studios. I am Finn, host of the adult programming on WagerTalk TV. And let me begin by thanking you for taking a minute of your day to listen to my 2 cents of the X-rated orbit of the National Football League. Get it? Yeah. For those of you who are regulars of my tapings of Fade It with Finn, let me start by apologizing for not getting to the comment section this week. The interaction with those who, again, so graciously offer a part of their day to make a visit to Wage Talk and our vast libraries of self-help, football, baseball, basketball, other sporting commercials that we proudly peddle. I will visit the interactive area and answer any remark or maybe even delete whichever whim overcomes me, but I'll get to some of those this day, I promise you. Last week was very typical of the 3 weeks prior in this Faded to Fin. We split with a 2-game NFL fade, the winner being Cleveland fade, the loser being the Giants fade. The Giants continue to surprise and overachieve. We remain more of an example of how terrifying it must be, to have a crush on your cousin or your sister and be labeled great on your play to be a kiss your sister moment. So no more kissing our sister. Let's see if we can go 2-0 today. Our first team in the week 8 to spotlight and place in the fade container are the Detroit Lions, a team close to the hearts of those in the offices of Wager Talk in Motown, downtown Detroit, or somewhere in that metro area. It's secret. They won't even tell us where it's located because of potential top secret weapons, et cetera, handicapping weapons. Again, the NFC AFC matchup open. Detroit, Miami, by the way. Miami visiting Detroit, and this NFC AFC matchup opened with the Dolphins as 3-point road chalk. Since the Sunday overnight was published, the number climbed to 3 and a hook, and it's held steady for all intent and purposes. Now, while many will shy away from the field goal and the hook, especially laying that number, and would prefer to receive it, and for good reason, guys. It's an invitation for me to execute due diligence. When I see a 3.5 hook, and in particular, the due diligence I do is if sharp money was on Detroit here, as soon as that 3 and a hook showed, there would have been buyback. There has been absolutely no buyback on this. And I can go into the metrics of this game. And listen, I think Detroit's done a terrific job. They were kind of the NFL sweethearts this year, early in the season, because of the HBO programming that they did and shared some of their personal lives, locker room lives with NFL fanatics, right? But this is not a very good defense. This is, in fact, defense is probably the kindest thing we can say about the 11 on the stop side of the ball for Detroit. They have some talent offensively, and they're not completely healthy, not as healthy as they need to be competitive against a Miami team that received an abundance, of preseason butt slaps. They were perceived as the sleeper of the AFC behind the Kansas City and Buffalo, et cetera, maybe even the Raiders, who've been disappointed here in Vegas. They received that abundance, and then all of a sudden there was a little bit of a pause because of the head trauma that Tua went down, missed a couple games for. This Fins team, before he went down, exceeded a couple speed bumps. They exceeded the speed limit on those speed bumps, leaving some with questions, some unanswered, some answered. But the Miami offense under Tua, it really has a top 3-point per yard and play metric. And they've done this with one of the top 5 most difficult schedules in the NFL this year. Without question, we're going to move on to our next Fade It with Finn, but Miami, don't be afraid to lay 3.5. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I think this is a game that ends up being, it's in Detroit. They're going to be excited to have Miami there. They're going to be excited to see Tua and some of the regional coverage promotions that they're receiving for this game because of the bye weeks, et cetera. But Miami minus 3.5, I think, is the way to go, the only way to go here. You're either on Miami laying the 3.5, or you have run screaming like a girl from this room. Our second Fade It with Finn is should be interesting, right? We got a Pittsburgh, we have a Pennsylvania matchup here. We got Pittsburgh, and we have Philadelphia. And we're not fading Pittsburgh, guys. We're fading Philadelphia, the only undefeated team left in the NFL. And I'm not going to spend very much time on this. I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why you fade Philadelphia here. Now, as of this programming, right now, this very minute, I'm looking at the live odds board here at WagerTalk, and it's Philly minus 10.5. Could not be better. 11's better. 11.5's even better. 12, 15, sure, it's better. The Steelers have gotten a bad rap, first and foremost. Once they held on to Roethlisberger a little too long. They had some quarterback issues, and their defense took some personnel hits in week one. This is still a really good defense. This is still a really good offense, despite the fact that you got a rookie quarterback that's thrown 7 interceptions already, right? And Pickett. Do not think for 1 minute this is a big game for Philadelphia. It's not. Perfect record they're not going to have at the end of the season. And if you're going to lose a game, it should come out of the division and out of conference. That's this game. Pittsburgh plus 12.5 against the best underdog coach in the NFL, bar none. Andy Reid, great. Mike Tomlin, the best. And Pickett's been through some wars. This defense is playing pretty good. And Pickett has a wealth of weapons offensively, running back and at receiver. 2 fades this week, guys. 2 fades. The faded with Finn. First fade, Detroit Lions playing on the Miami Dolphins. The second fade's a big one. Big one. It could possibly be Philadelphia's first loss. I certainly recommend highly that you take Pittsburgh and the double-digit handicap. Fade the Philadelphia Eagles, fade the Detroit Lions. I am Tony Finn. Thank you very much for stopping by WagerTalk. Thanks to all in the WagerTalk studios, especially King Chris. And I hope to see you next week. And I promise again to hit the interactive part of this programming on the comments section. And I promise not to delete more than one. See you next week.